Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today for another reading vlog. I've been having so much fun making these. Today is Tuesday, March 10th, and I am coming at you guys with a couple of reading updates. I'm 99% sure that I already talked about Our Wives Under the Sea in my last video. I think I gave my final thoughts on that one, which were just... That was such a good book, guys. Like, I cannot believe I waited so long to read it. I loved it so much. If you haven't read it, please go read it. Just go read it. The next book that I read immediately after Our Wives Under the Sea is Shark Heart. If any of you guys have read, honestly, either of these, but especially both of these, Shark Heart and Our Wives Under the Sea, what was I thinking reading these back to back? Honestly, what was I thinking? So, this book was a Book of the Month pick way back in August of 2023. And I remember the month that it was the pick, I looked at it, I read the synopsis, and I was like, this sounds ridiculous. And I didn't pick it. But then, a couple months go by, and then YouTubers and Bookstagrammers start talking about this one. And I was intrigued, so I finally ordered it a few months later. I want to say Lexi, aka Newly Nova, is the one that got me to order this after I had so, callously brushed it off in the first place. And then I had it on my shelf for a couple of years. And then I was watching Fern of Cozy Plant Lady's videos pretty recently. I think she might have read this one last month. And the way that she talked about it as well just inspired me to finally pick it up after I had been thinking about it for a very long time. And so I did. And guys, this book, I was not expecting this. This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever read. And it is so deep and complex and layered and heartbreaking and gorgeous and just... I could not put this down. And I mean, it looks like kind of a chonker, right? However, the way that it's written, I mean, there's some chapters that are a couple of pages, some are a paragraph or two, some are a sentence, so it actually doesn't take very long to get through. And honestly, guys, if you pick this one up, in my opinion, you're not going to want to put it down. At least that's what happened for me. So I flew through it, and I definitely cried a couple of times. But yeah, reading this one directly after Our Wives Under the Sea was a choice. They both made me cry. They both are almost character studies on what it is like to lose someone slowly while they're still in front of you, and on grief, and on a lot of things. On, humanity, what it is to be a person. Just so beautiful, guys. I mean, I gave this 5 stars. 10 out of 10 recommend. I would say to maybe make sure that you're in a good headspace before you read this, or Our Wives Under the Sea, because they might make you cry. But yes, that is my thoughts on Shark Heart. I am so happy that I finally read this. Thank you to Lexi and Fern. I will link their pages below if you haven't seen their videos. Absolutely go check them out. Love both of them. After that one, I tried to read a couple of different books because I was out of town when I finished Shark Heart and I hadn't taken any other physical books with me. So I pulled up my Kindle and I tried to read a couple of books that I've had sitting in my Kindle for a while. And one of those was Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman, I think. I've had that one sitting in my Kindle for a while. I bought it with my own money, and the premise sounded really, really good. I was really excited to read it, and I was finally, that day that I finished Shark Heart, like, you know what, let's go to a completely different genre. I need something different, and I started reading it, and almost immediately I was like, what the heck is this writing? I don't know, guys. About 10 pages in, I was like, am I gonna keep reading this? And I did. I did keep reading it because I don't know if I've mentioned before, I am horrible at DNFing. I need to get better at it because, guys, you know what I did? I read 100 more pages after that. I made it to 110 and then I was still hating it. And I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? I don't want to read this. I'm not enjoying it. I hate the writing. I didn't really like anything that was happening. I mean, of course, it's not supposed to be a story that you enjoy. It's not. But just, I wasn't invested, oddly enough. You'd think you would be. I wasn't invested. Kind of all the characters were icky. I don't know. Everything was icky. I felt gross. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it, but I didn't like the writing style at all. It was really getting to me. and the whole story was really getting to me, and I just put it down, and I don't know if I'm going to pick it back up because like I said, I was kind of hating it. Anyone who's read it, I don't know, let me know. Let me know if I'm making a mistake by not picking it back up. After that, I started Beth is Dead, and guys, look at this cover. Like, this is the cover underneath the dust jacket, and it's so pretty. This one really drew me in when I found out that it's not, maybe it's like a loose retelling of Little Women, or it's loosely based on Little Women. I love Little Women. That is one of my favorite books ever. That's one that I can just reread over and over again. So that is what drew me to this. I know that it is a modern type of retelling. It's definitely interesting because it almost has nothing to do with Little Women, at least so far, other than all of the characters are based on characters from Little Women. And like their personalities are maybe loosely based on the characters from Little Women, right? But other than that, it doesn't really have anything else to do with Little Women. But we'll see if that changes as I get a little further in. I'm about halfway through as we speak. I am really liking it though. It's kind of like a mystery whodunit type story, as we can tell from the title. Beth dies right away. That's basically what the book opens with. So not a spoiler, it's in the title. And the rest of the book, at least up to where I am, is her sisters trying to figure out who did it. And yeah, it's very interesting. I'm really enjoying my time with it so far. I like the writing, and it definitely has me hooked. I read most of this today, so I'm really wanting to finish this. Honestly, if I could just sit down and read uninterrupted, I could finish it tonight. We'll see how that goes. I at least want to finish it before I go out of town again, because I have a lot more books I want to read, and I can't just take unlimited physical copies of things when I travel, so I wish I could, but you know, that is what I have a Kindle for. However, I have a lot of physical books already in my possession that I've already spent my money on that I want to read this month, so it is how it is. All right, those are my reading updates. Oh, and I mean the ever-present Moby Dick. Where is he? The ever-present Moby Dick. I am still reading because I have it tabbed out until the end of the month. Maybe not all the way to the end of the month. March 28th is the last day that I will be reading this as long as I stay on track. It's still chugging along basically the same as it has been going. I spent a couple of hours catching up on it this past Saturday because I let myself get behind again. I've been keeping up since then, so, you know, that one is going as well as to be expected at this point, basically. That is now all of my reading updates for now. I did get my book boxes in the mail today, so we will open those maybe later tonight, and I'm really excited about it because my Book of the Month box contains one of the books I am most excited to read this month, probably the book I was most excited to read this month, which is You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. So excited for that one, guys. But we are going to do that a little bit later, so I will check back in when it is time for that, and I will see you guys then. Hey guys, I have now showered and put laundry away, and now I am ready to open up my book boxes, which I'm so excited about. First, we have Aardvark. Oh, another thing. I mean, not me not realizing until this past weekend that one of the books I kept saying was coming out this month was not, in fact, coming out this month at all. Joanna Van Veen's new book. Like, this whole time, since about New Year's, I thought it was coming out in March. It is, in fact, coming out in May, the end of May, which will explain why I did not find it in either of this month's book boxes. It is not out for 2 more months. Tragic. However, I mean, maybe it will be in one of the book boxes for May. Anyway, back to Aardvark. All right. First, we have Whidbey by T. Kira Madden. And if I could remember what any of these were about, I actually had not heard of any of the books in the Aardvark selection this month before seeing them on there. So super exciting. I think this one might be the literary pick. Portrait of 3 women connected through one man in the aftermath of his murder. Yes, okay, so this was the literary fiction pick for the month, and it sounded super interesting, and the synopsis almost reminded me a little bit of Notes on an Execution, although, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's going to be similar to that, but that's just what it made me think of when I read about it. Super excited for this one. Next, we have Spoiled Milk by Avery Curran. This was one of the 2 horror picks for March. The untimely death of a student at a girls' boarding school turns out to be the first in a haunting series of escalating supernatural events. I want to say this one is gothic horror as well, and sounded super interesting, and look at this cover, guys. Just very excited for this one too. And the other horror pick for March, Let's not drop things. Nowhere Burning by Catriona Ward. Nowhere Burning is a harrowing tale of survival that places the dark fairy tale of Peter Pan and the ruthless dangers of Lord of the Flies into the unforgiving maw of the Colorado Rockies. Also sounds amazing. And it also helps that Peter Pan was always one of my favorite stories growing up. I love the book, I love the movie. And I actually read Lord of the Flies in high school, and I hated it. But then I read it again in college, just a couple years ago actually, when I went back for my bachelor's degree. And I loved it. It was brilliant. Yeah, anyway, that is Nowhere Burning. And that is it for our aardvark picks. Got the little bookmarks. On to Book of the Month. And I don't know what happened to my box this month, but it is like smashed and kind of trying to fall apart. It's okay, they're coming out of the box now, so as long as they're okay inside the box, we're about to find out. All right, the top one looks like it got a little tiny bit smushed, but it's still okay. Pick number 1 from Book of the Month for March, Lady Tremaine by Rachel Hockhauser. I'm probably not saying that correctly. And this one I believe is a kind of dark retelling of Cinderella, but told from the point of view of the evil stepmother. So I love dark retellings. So I'm super excited about this one, especially dark retellings told by the villain. So I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of complexity within that character that we obviously wouldn't have seen in any of the other stories. Ooh. From Seed Bank to Seed Planting, the 2025 Lolly winner, Wild Dark Shore, is a tale of care, choice, and what endures. Mark the moment with these orange cosmos seeds. Guys, that is so cool. Plant me. All right, we're saving that. I did choose the Lolly winner, Wild Dark Shore, because I did not get it when it was a pick, so I have not read it, and I am really excited to. Ooh, let's see if I can make it to where you guys can see the Lolly Award on the back of the cover. So cool. Really excited for that one too. Oh, here it is. Of course, it's the last one I unbox. You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. I cannot express how excited I am for this book, you guys. C.G. Drews has become an auto-buy author for me. I love their work. I've read Hazelthorn and Don't Let the Forest In, both 5 stars for me. Love them so much. This is C.G. Drews' first adult horror novel. C.G. Drews writes autistic characters, and they are like stated to be autistic. Autism rep, which I love so much. There's not a lot of books that have autism rep. That's another reason I love Emily Austin's books so much. Emily Austin's books, it's not explicitly stated that any of her characters are autistic, except at the end of Interesting Facts About Space, Enid is going for an autism assessment. So there's that, and just the fact that as someone who has been diagnosed, I just relate a lot to Emily Austin's characters. But C.G. Drews, looking forward to just everything about this. I'm so excited about it. This is going to be my next book when I finish Beth is Dead, because I literally cannot wait to read it. Cannot wait. Not going to wait. Don't want to wait. All right. And we have another pretty cool bookmark from Book of the Month. My poor, sad, trashed little box. All right. Well, that is my book mail, my book boxes for the month of March, and I'm so excited about all of them. I got a lot of books this month. I got 3 each, so 6 books total. A lot to read. We love that. And yeah, that's about all I have for you guys right now, and I will check back in with you guys later. Hey guys, it is now Wednesday. It is now Wednesday, and I'm coming at you with a reading update. I finished Beth is Dead today, and guys, I really, really liked this. After I started it, I mean, like I said yesterday, after I'd read about half of it, I was a little unsure about why it was, based on Little Women. But now that I've finished it, I really feel like the rest of the story and the ending rounded that all out for me. I mean, this could have been a book that had nothing at all to do with Little Women. It could have been the same exact story with, new characters. However, I feel like the fact that it was kind of a modern reimagining of Little Women would probably make a lot of people want to pick it up, myself included. The reason I grabbed this was because I found that out, and I love Little Women. I'm such a huge fan. Now, I think that other people who love Little Women are either going to really like this or maybe hate it. I feel like that is a risk that you run with any retelling, especially if it is a classic retelling. And this one, in particular, is a modern reimagining of a very, very much loved classic. That being said, I feel like this book really captured the essence of the characters, the original characters from Little Women. A bunch of them, actually, not just the four sisters. But especially the four sisters, it really captured their characters, their complexity, and one of the big points of this book was that the sisters aren't just the stereotypes that they kind of come away with in Little Women. I don't necessarily mean that from the book. I think in Little Women, the book itself, we see, the stereotypes of the girls, but we also see their complexity, their humanity, their flaws. But I think that people do kind of see them in stereotypical ways outside of the novel. Like what Meg is the smart, pretty one, Jo is the tomboy writer, and she's also like kind of the fierce one. Beth is the quiet, timid, sweet one, and Amy is kind of the one that everybody hates, which isn't fair. We see her complexity in Little Women, as well as in this one. This one really shines a light on how complex the characters are and how it is a mistake to only look at them through one lens. But all in all, I thought that this was really good, really well done. I enjoyed it so much. I really liked the writing. I liked the way that she captured the characters. And the story itself, I couldn't put it down. It is kind of a mystery thriller, like a murder mystery thriller. We know that from the very beginning of the book, and it's pretty fascinating. But yeah, that is Beth is Dead. I really do recommend this, whether or not you have read and loved Little Women. Okay, and now we get to pick out my next book. I have several contenders, as you know if you watched my last video where we picked out my March TBR. Now, the one that is calling my eye the most currently probably comes as no surprise. It is You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. That is the one that I want to read next, the one that I have been most excited for this month. I've been waiting very impatiently for it. However, now that the time has come that I could pick it up, part of me is like, do I really want to do that immediately and be done with it so fast? Guys, if I read this right now, I could be done with it tonight, I could be done with it tomorrow, and then guess what? Then I will have read all of C.G. Drew's works again that are currently out, and I will be sad because there won't be anything left. Although, they do have another book coming out. I want to say it's October. It is definitely this fall. Another YA horror, and I think this one is based around like something from the depths of the sea. I absolutely cannot wait for it. But anyway, should I guys? Should I dive straight into this? I'm so excited. I really don't think I cannot dive right into this if we're being honest. But if I wanted to pick another contender, I don't know guys, this is a hard one. Private Rights by Julia Armfield is on my TBR for this month, as well as Incidents Around the House. Ooh, that might be kind of fun right now. Haunted House Story. But no matter when I pick this up, guys, I'm going to blow through it and I'm going to be sad that I read it too fast. I know myself, and that is a thing that I do. Ooh, the back cover is so pretty. You can see the roses. I hope the lighting's okay. Also, C.G. Drews posted on Instagram today. Blue and red cover, by the way. Very pretty. All of the different editions of this book. I believe it actually comes out officially next week. And there are so many pretty editions, you guys. The Barnes & Noble exclusive edition has blue sprayed edges. There's a different one that has sprayed edges with, I think, like the haunted house on it. And then there is the Owl Crate special edition. So gorgeous, you guys. I think this is gonna have to be the one. I really think it is. Anyway, I probably am gonna start reading this tonight, and yep, I'll check back in with you guys later and let you know how it's going. Hey everyone, it is now Thursday afternoon. I just took my dogs for a walk with my sister and it was windy as all heck out there. That's always fun. My allergies are going to be real happy about that later. I wanted to jump on and kind of wrap up my reading vlog for this week because I'm going to spend tonight getting ready to go out of town for 9 days. My spring break is this coming week. I'm not actually in school anymore, but I work at a school. I do technology with a school district, so I get spring break and I'm excited for it. I'm gonna go spend the whole thing with my boyfriend, and yeah. I don't have too many reading updates from, I think just last night was the last time I gave you guys a reading update. However, I did start You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews, and I already love it so much. Like, C.G. Drews, their writing is just some of my favorite. I love it so much. It draws me in. It is so just, it's very beautiful. I'm only about 2 chapters in so far, 23 pages, and the characters already seem so complex, and yeah, I'm really, really excited to get further into this one. I don't want to read it too fast, but also I just want to take all of it in just immediately. I am reading this. I am still reading Moby Dick, which probably sound like a broken record at this point. I'm going to be reading Moby Dick until March 28th, I believe. Yeah, I'm not going to DNF it, guys. I've put in too much work at this point. It can't all be for nothing. I know that's probably not a great way to look at it, but I also want to know what happens, right? I mean, I'm sure they get the whale. Do they get the whale? Does Ahab get the whale, or does the whale get Ahab? I should probably know that. This is not one that I ever had to study in school, though, so it's not one that I ever had to study in school, and shockingly to me a little bit, it's not one that I ever chose to read on my own before now, even though I have had a lifelong obsession with whales. I guess to be fair, like my favorite animal is an orca whale, so I know a ridiculous amount about them, and if there was a classic about an orca whale, I would have read that one, no questions. I've had a lifelong obsession with all whales and all sea creatures. I love them all so much. I wanted to be a marine biologist as a kid. But unfortunately, I was born and grew up in a landlocked state, so I could have moved, but I didn't, and now here we are. And I'm working in technology, even though I have a bachelor's degree in writing with a focus on creative writing, so it is what it is, guys. But yeah, beyond that, I am going to spend the rest of my evening. I'm gonna have some dinner. I need to paint my nails again, because this one is getting a little, I guess it actually still looks pretty good, but it's grown out a little bit more than I like. And since I'm not going to be home for 9 days, I don't like doing my nails at other people's houses. I could do it, but I just don't like to. I don't know, it messes with my routine, I guess. Like in other people's space, I don't like pulling out my acetone and my nail polish and just, you know, chemicaling up everything, making it all smell like acetone and nail polish. I don't know. So I'm probably going to do that tonight and pack and get ready for a week with my boyfriend. And yeah, man, I am hungry. I think dinner is going to be sooner rather than later. I might bring you guys along for some of it, but if I don't, then I will see you in my next video, which hopefully will be very soon. I might end up skipping a week while I'm out of town, but we'll find out. I might be able to film while I'm gone too, if I can find some decent spots. So yeah, we will see about that. I hope that you guys have had a really nice week. And yeah, other than that, I feel like I'm just babbling at this point. I had a long day. I had work and then some minor car trouble. Minor. I'm tired. I'm kind of tired and I have a lot I still need to do. So that's all fine. I just need to eat, get some energy in me. We'll be good to go. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for being here and I will see you guys very soon.